Hi, this is Dan from Index Option Trading on November 16th after the market close, and here's a quick look on Emini 500 index futures as they're trading after hours. We had a very big rally today. We had a very significant up day, and futures hit a high of 111.12.25. Right now they're trading a little bit down to 1103 levels. The market is solidly in a uptrend here. This is the 50-day moving average and the rising trend line drawn from March lows. And as you can see, today we had made a nice beautiful candle here, and the market internals were all to the upside. At the last minute, about 30-40 minutes before the close, the futures started dropping, and we had a sell-off and profit taking and so on and so forth. The stochastics is showing it up to 71 and 88, so it's not completely oversold, and the market still has some more leeway here, and it can go up higher. Let's go and take a look at our favorite chart, SPX, S&P 500, and here's the yearly chart, year-to-date chart on S&P 500. As you can see, we had a very nice bounce from this rising trend line, and we were going down here for last three sessions, and then we just bounced off here to close at 1109. The stochastics is readings are right now 63 and 90. I would say is something around this, and we're still not in from neutral to overbought conditions. We're still a little bit to go. And so today the significant story was that the index RUT that we have been talking about here in the last few weeks did a significant thing here, and it managed to punch through this 50-day moving average and close above this with this beautiful white candle. It's called a bullish engulfing candle. Actually, it's not engulfing anything, but it is a bullish salami here, and it's a candle. It closed at 602.87. And what this signifies is that RUT was the lagging indicator after the sell-off that started here in October 19th, and it went down here, touched the 550, and has moved up about 45-50 points in the process. But the move is still not complete. Stochastics is between neutral to oversold levels. It still has some more to go. The lines are at 50 and 80, but we need to see any confirmation that this move will continue here above this 50-day moving average, and we have to see the confirmation of these prices above this in the next couple of days. Hopefully RUT should be able to penetrate higher 610 in this trend line and get up to here. Then the broad market is also in tandem with the rest of the market. Anyway, let's take a look at NDX, and this is what NDX has been doing here. It managed to punch through this rising trend line and close at 1807. A very bullish stand here, stance of this in on this chart. And what we had here is stochastics between 60 and 90. The market still has some ways to go. So let's just take a quick look on in our favorite SPY and see how the volumes were doing. The SPY had a big day here, and the volumes came in at 210, much higher than the previous two sessions. And it also managed to bounce above this trend line and close at 111.21. It's very significant that SPY just closed above the 1100 mark, which is what we were expecting and what the market was looking at. That puts us in a newer territory. These are the highs of the year that SPY is making and the stock market is making here. Let's just also roll over and just take a look at IWM. IWM, which is the ETF for RUT, also managed to close above the 50-day moving average at 60.28, and the volumes came in, preliminary data shows the volumes came in just a little bit lower than yesterday. But however, this was a significant move. The ETF is not oversold or overbought, but it should be able to follow through, and if we can see a follow through in the days, Tuesday, Wednesday, next few days, and punch through this trend line, then we should be having this indicator as well catch up with the rest of the market. So these are the conditions here. We are in an uptrend here for the short term. The intermediate term is also up, and the long-term trend definitely up here, as you can see from these trend lines. For the RUD and IWM, it cannot be said the same thing, but for SPX and DIA and NDX is perfectly in a very nice shape here. So that is all for today, and I'm going to add another thing here in a minute, which will be our Nasdaq McKellen oscillator and also the NYSE McKellen oscillator in the next segment. This is an NYSE McKellen oscillator and summation index, that a tool that we use here in the office, which is gives you oversold and overbought readings here. As you can see that today the tool, my tool just closed here at about 25 readings, 25 and above readings, which is about 32. I would say 32 readings here, which is what is from a neutral to and slightly overbought conditions, because we can see we were coming here in the cycle from minus 100, and now we managed to close above this red line, a zero line, and now we're closing in the positive territory. As this tool moves up here, the market will start getting overbought, and then the could be subject to sell-off. You can see how the market NYSE breadth is making higher highs and higher lows and moving in a sine wave. And as soon as this tool start reaching here, when we start reaching 50 to 75 readings, then this would be in the overbought conditions here. So far, the tool has a pretty much a neutral reading. It can move either way. The market still has some ways to go.